What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
and today we have awoken from our tomb worlds as we begin our reanimation protocols.
Yep.
To answer your questions in another For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. Also, we are rolling out the Super Thanks button or thing. If you guys want to support the channel, if you guys like hanging out with us and talking to us, you can hit us up with a Super Thanks. And you have a guaranteed question that we will answer. Sorry, I had a lot of saliva in my mouth. I don't know why. And yeah, so we appreciate if you do. But this question comes from Timothy Armstrong. He asks, what triggers Necron Tomb Worlds to activate? It usually depends on the Tomb World's past traumas. Once they figure that out, that could be their major trigger.
Basically, yeah. So oftentimes archaeological digs are what awakes the tomb world because people are just like digging and they find some, black stone. What the heck is this doing here? Wait, what's this skeletal warrior doing here? And they keep digging and digging and digging, and eventually the canoptic constructs of the tomb world will awaken. They'll get triggered, they'll feel something, and that'll basically flip the green light on the awakening process. And it may take a few years, it may be super fast. It all depends on how destroyed the tomb is, because obviously they do have to repair all these things. As powerful as Necron technology is, 10,000 years of slumber does wear and tear on these things. I also know that if there is a Catan on this Necron tomb world, the Catan may also try to break free. So even though you have canoptic spiders, canoptic wraiths tending to, fixing anything that breaks, eventually the Catan's powers may break faster than the repair can, and that's what awakens the tomb world.
Yeah, so basically any type of stress done on the tomb world. Now, in the beginning, the Silent King kind of not tricked, but he told his overlords, I will reanimate you guys, basically. But in reality, what he did is he destroyed his main, command protocol, which gave him control of all of these overlords, gave the freedom back to them, and then each individual tomb world kind of has its own, trajectory. But for the most part, that awakening sequence is not something that even exists because the Silent King and the dynasty itself never put that in. So it is, like you said, invasions that usually happen, some type of discovery, and yeah, that's what triggers the tomb world. And it depends on the tomb world too, because you have 3 different types. So you have core worlds, you have rim worlds, and then what's the other one?
I want to say crone, but that's not it, is it?
No, yeah,
is
crone worlds, yep.
Okay.
So yeah, crone worlds, and then rim worlds, I think.
I like rim worlds. And also it depends too on the dynasty.
Yeah.
So if you do awake one, chances are you'll just be invaded by a whole bunch of Necron warriors. But maybe you awoke in a dynasty that has canoptic swarms or something like that. So you'll just get eaten alive by little teeny tiny scarabs. That's worse. If you guys have seen The Mummy, those scarabs that burrow in your flesh and you can see them moving in your skin, that's nasty.
I remember that traumatized me for a while, and I was scared of bugs. Mm-hmm. But then
you watch The Bug's Life.
Yeah, and then I realized, oh no, they're friendly. Bug's Life, not ants.
Right. Ants is scary.
It is.
Sylvester Stallone's in it.
Decapitated Sylvester Stallone.
Did they really?
Yeah,
I gotta rewatch it.
The Beatles cut his head off.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Or wait, was it his head or was it just
No, it was, because I remember he picked it up and he's still talking or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I wonder if that happens. If you cut off an ant's head, does it stay alive?
This next one is by J.W. What effect did the Sisters of Silence, if any, have on the Emperor or Malcador? So, if you don't know, the Sisters of Silence are blanks. They're nulls. They're pariahs. They are the anathema to psychers. And since the Emperor is indeed the strongest psycher, wouldn't these sisters basically put a dampen on his power? But I don't think so.
Nope.
Because you see a lot of images of the Emperor standing with his custodians and standing with a squad of sisters, and he looks fine, unfazed.
Yeah, and I think it has to do with like just the Emperor himself being the most powerful psyker, being able to nullify the nullifying powers
Yeah.
of the sisters, and also probably his armor.
Hmm. The way I think about it is almost like a waterfall or like a stream or something like that. The sisters are a dam that stop this waterfall, the stream. The more sisters you have, the thicker the concrete is. But eventually you have the Emperor, which is a freaking ocean of power. And it's like no matter how much concrete and stuff you put, eventually Mother Nature will blow that apart.
Right, yeah. And there has to be some level of control that these sisters had, too.
Mhm.
They're specialists in what they do. They're not just some blank off the street.
Right. And it's hard to find a blank off the street because
Mhm.
they're so valuable. Or
Yeah.
they die in childbirth because the psychic aura of a blank is just too much, and either the mother or the doctor just outright kills the fiendish baby.
Yeah, it's very rare to find a blank in the street, but a freak in the bed.
There you go.
Next question comes from the big one. My mom said my dad sent me some mail, but when I opened it, it was just a piece of paper that said, "Get bent." Then he rolled around on the floor, or then she rolled around on the floor laughing. Isn't that totally uncool? Yeah, I guess.
Just get a sense of humor, man.
Yeah, it's
Maybe-
just your mom hating on you.
And your dad, apparently. But
Well.
it's like two hates. Well, yeah. Two hates cross out and makes it love, right?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Like-
So it's like the ultimate love
Yeah, two
letter.
negatives make a positive.
Mm-hmm.
And what's so...
Yeah.
And what's better than, that, right? Math.
Yeah.
Mr. Cad says, do Space Marines make jokes? Not really. I mean, Space Marines are supposed to be like stoic, quiet, super uniform, like as regimented as you can get for the most part. Obviously, once you get to like the Space Wolves, then you get more of like the whole Viking aesthetic, like mead and, rough housing and that type of stuff. So
Yeah, Space Wolves are definitely here for the long time. No, for the short.
they're here for
the
a good time,
not the long time. There you go. Fucking Drake. It's probably not even Drake, but yeah. Next question comes from Trips Trap. Related to the gatekeeping topic, are fans who use Warhammer 40K as a way to be racist real fans? Obviously, no, but in virtual reality chats, or in the VR chat Warhammer 40K world, people try to justify it by saying the Imperium's racist, so that makes it okay. How would you respond in these situations?
Dude, if anybody tries to use any type of fantastical world or game as a means to do real world actions, like that's messed up.
Also, I think it's a phase. Like, honestly, like, I think that whole concept is, like, they're kids.
Well, I mean, you see politicians do this all the time. Oh, these people are doing all these violence acts because of the video games. Look at what the video games are showing.
Yeah, but that's different. That's just them trying to find a trigger to push away from the fact that
Yeah, that's true.
people have weapons that kill people.
Yeah, it's like, let's not blame the real thing. Let's blame this.
Yeah, yeah. Or just like, but I think when it comes to racism in any type of, what would it be called? Like sci-fi, fantasy type of universe, you're going to have that, but it is just kids. Or it's just people that haven't matured,
Yeah.
haven't experienced life. Because one of the things is that, like, when you step into most hobby shops, there is a hobby goer. Like, there is a, what is it called? Like a blueprint to what a hobby person is. And most of the time, like, we're not sociable people. So I think that stems from that. Maybe. I don't know.
To an extent, I would say, because that's not 100% true or anything like that. I feel like a lot of times, a lot of like quote unquote nerds or losers or unsociable people go into hobbies is because they don't get the fulfillment they get from being sociable, from talking to others, from building that kind of relationship with other people. And so they make that with this fantastical world. They associate a part of themselves into the fantasy, and that's how they build quote-unquote fulfilling relationships, goals, aspirations, and that's why they're unsociable, but they might be very good at the game.
Well, yeah, but so that is true for D&D for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you create kind of a character that you can't be in the outside world, For a world like 40K, I guess it's the same because he did say it was a VR 40K kind of like reality
You're
thing.
not yourself. You're hiding behind the mask.
Of an Inquisitor, or Rogue
Yeah.
Trader, or something like that. Yeah, I guess I could see that. But just try not to be an asshole.
Yeah. Come on, guys. The world's already shitty enough.
Yes.
And speaking of being pretty crappy, Gaming Karam says, if a demon gets truly obliterated, does his Patreon god lose a part of himself?
Essentially, yeah.
Because basically you have the Chaos God, and then a part of that Chaos God gets taken, or he uses his own power, his own flesh, his own psychic essence to create, demons, be it greater or lesser. The more of his own power and essence he puts into these demons, the stronger they become.
Yep.
So you can make a whole bunch of little nurglings, you can make a bunch of plague bearers, you can make a few great unclean ones, and then you have your demon primarchs / demon princes. So there is a hierarchy to this, and of course, if you do kill like a great unclean one, then normally they just get sent reeling back into the warp, and it's not like the demon god lost of power, unless it's like somebody super powerful like the Grey Knights or the Emperor actually banishing the demon from existence. Then yes, that is a way to hurt the patron god. But I mean, these gods are so powerful, killing a score of nurglings or demon princes isn't really going to affect them.
Right. Yeah. But at the same time, I think it would be more of an issue or a big impact on a Chaos God, because if you think about it, Chaos Gods usually never get destroyed like that, and then once they do, it's like, oh shit, like, who is this guy?
Yeah, it's like, oh crap, I lost my pinky toe. I'm gonna, come after you, Emperor.
Yeah. And those were the questions for today. Thank you guys so much for commenting. If we didn't get to your question, just comment again or hit us up with a super thanks. We appreciate those a lot. You are supporting the channel, and we'll talk tomorrow.
That's right. This has been the Sound Alchemist,
Kirsch1.
and we are out.
Oh, I used to put my freedom first.